I've been living with diabetes, type 1 diabetes, for the last 11 years. Over the past few years, I probably hadn't had the best lifestyle. I joined Vision just over a year ago now. I'm loving my life again and back on track.
Yeah, when Emma came into the studio on day one, I remember looking at her and thinking, she really needs some help. She wasn't happy. She wasn't far off my age, so I could kind of see in her that she just wasn't as happy as what I was, and I knew that she needed help with her exercise and her eating. And obviously learning that she had type 1 diabetes made me think, well, I'm going to have to learn a lot more about this as well.
I was severely underweight when I was diagnosed, and I was still trying to do like team sport and that, but I also found that I just had no energy all the time. So it really affected my lifestyle. And then when I was diagnosed and got everything under control, I found I could play team sport properly again. And for a type 1 diabetic, your body no longer produces insulin. So to counteract that, I have insulin 4 times a day. So for a non-diabetic, normal blood sugar levels are between 4 and 8. So if my blood sugar levels are below, say, 3, I'm having a hypo. You just lose all energy. I go really pale, get a bit clammy in the hands. I can't think properly, like it just takes like my brain forever to...
Yeah, Emma could almost be talking to me in a training session and
I'll just start rambling, I just can't.
And she'll go, I can't lift this weight. And I remember the first time she did it and I was like, of course you can, you've just done 5 reps. And she just would stop and she couldn't move.
I just have no energy, all the energy drains from your muscles. It's just the most horrible feeling. I generally have them in the middle of the night, so about 2 o'clock in the morning. So by the time you've actually woken up from having a hypo, it's really quite bad. So I generally have a jar of honey, like a squeezy bottle of honey next to my bed. And although the carbs in that take me over my macros and that for a daily, like they're quite high for carbs, but that's what I need to get me back to a normal blood sugar level range. So routines, my routines for the day, I check my blood sugar before every meal. I have to have insulin 4 times a day, so short-acting insulin with any food I have, and long-acting overnight, which maintains my blood sugar levels for 24 hours. My results have been really good, actually. I started out, I think, 83 kilos, or just over 83 point something. Yeah. I'm down to 66.9 now, so maybe just 2 kilos off my overall, like, ultimate goal weight. I just feel amazing, and my confidence levels have just skyrocketed, I think. Like,
oh yeah, I remember when Emma first came into the studio and she was shy. I'm
still shy,
but maybe I know you a bit better. But yeah, she kept herself to herself, you know, but now she'll come in, she'll talk to everybody in the studio. She does group training, so she knows a lot of the clients. One major thing that we found was the 9-week girl sessions was good, because if she had a 9-week period where she was struggling or she had a lot of hypo, she did go through a time where her insulin wasn't right. There was something not right about the insulin. So we'd start the 9-week goal session.
Like, all right, where's my next goal session? Need to get on top of this and just reset and start again.
Fresh start. So she had a few 9-week periods where she didn't get the best results that she wanted. She'd have another 9-week period where she would get way better than what she expected. And it was, again, just trial and error.
I find that after I've had a hypo as well, my body just craves carbs. So we just have to kind of work around it. Like, and make, I suppose, smarter choices if I can in what carbs I do have.
Because initially I think we used to battle with, what have you eaten last night? Oh, well, maybe.
Protein shake, maybe.
Yeah, that was generally the case. And so I found that when she wrote in the diary everything she had, down to the chocolate bar that she might have had, or, you know, the takeout that she might have had, at least I could give her advice on how to work around that. And yeah, you've got to have a normal life, you've got to be able to have these things, but there was ways around it. And that's how we worked that out. But at the end of the day, our main priority was to make sure that Emma had a normal life and that she could have a life just like anybody else, but still be able to keep fit, eat the right things, lose weight, and people in the studio didn't even know that Emma had type 1 diabetics. No. Oh, well, Emma does 3 sessions a week with me. She started off 2, but she decided to bring in an extra. And it could be 2 weights, 1 cardio. It could be 2 cardio, 1 weights, depending on how she's feeling that week. You do sometimes 2 group classes?
Depending, like, because we have a boxing class on Wednesday nights, if I can't get out of work on time, I can't go to that class. So I definitely go to the Saturday classes, which is run club and possibly cross training, depending on how energetic I am, I suppose. But I have a weight session usually just before those classes, so I'm at the gym, I've got no excuse.
Saturday's a big day for her.
But it's great, like, I get up early on a Saturday, I've got all my exercise done, and I can enjoy the rest of my Saturday after that, so guilt-free.
Yeah, and we've even seen Emma coming out running with me on a Sunday on my days off, which is good,
I was never a runner, but I'm still not fast, but I really quite enjoy it now.
Yeah, it's good. Emma will stick to the macros that we give her in Vision, and then anything above and beyond that she needs when she has a hypo, we just blank them out. And we learned that from the beginning. We didn't know how we were going to do it, so it was kind of, we tried it, and we learned that you just kind of got to cut those out completely, because at the end of the day, the body needs those extra carbs. They're going to get used in some way or another, and the actual food that she eats according to her macros are the correct amounts for her weight loss. So generally it all levels itself out.
Blood sugar levels over, say, 10 is, well, technically a hyper. Like, your blood sugar level should be below 10, but if it's higher, like, it could be up to 20, 30, really bad, but obviously you've got to try and keep your blood sugar levels down between, say, 5 and 10. But I find that if my blood sugar levels are quite high, I start to get really crampy and I don't feel well, like, I don't feel healthy.
Yeah, that's true. Because Emma will come in and say, I just feel disgusted.
Yeah.
And she feels bloated, and you can tell that she's just not happy in herself.
Yeah. I stick to a pretty good routine with what food I have. Like, I will eat the same thing, especially like Monday to Friday. I'll have the same thing week after week, and then I'll get sick of that and I will change it again and find something new that works as well. So
yeah, if Emma doesn't feel like she's getting the results she wants from what she's eating, she will give it 1, 2, 3 weeks. She doesn't just go, oh, this week it didn't work. We always say, give it some time, let your body get used to it, and if it doesn't work, then we'll change it. And generally we'll just pick 1 or 2 things out of the day and change that meal and see if that works. And then as soon as we hit gold, she'll stick at it. And then she still writes the diary, even if it's the same every single day, she still writes it because it keeps her accountable. Yeah. And it also, obviously, she's going to have the odd extra carbs, jelly beans, chocolate or whatever, because of the hypos. So at least we can keep an eye on when she's having those and what impact it's having on her body. As her trainer, I've got to know everything, because if she comes to me one week and she gets on the scales and she's not getting the results that she wants, I've got to understand why that is and how we can try and work around it. And at the same time, Emma's got to have, she's a young girl, she's got to have a normal social life like everybody else. So it's really important.
If I go out or whatever,
I'll
still write what I've had, but I know that that's, you know.
Yeah, like, we'll work around it. We'll make sure that if she's going out, she'll keep her complex carbs low, and you know, the following day make sure she does the exercise that she's meant to do to get any alcohol out of her system and things like that. So she does have a normal life. She's just very consistent with her food.
One thing I found though is, being a diabetic, I can't do the accelerator days, but I may try and keep my carbs down, but I just won't do a no carb day.
Yes.
It just doesn't work for me, and my body does need carbs, so.
So generally carbs you'll stick in the morning for those kind of days, and then, you know, go into salads for lunch and stir fries or salads in the evening.
For breakfast I'll have porridge with a little bit of all bran, or if I wasn't to have porridge on that day, I might have a soy and linseed toast with cottage cheese and tomato or something like that. For morning tea, I'll have some strawberries and yogurt with a little bit of LSA on top. Lunch is usually a tuna salad, but I really like it. So everyone at work's like, that's not going to keep you going, but I love it. And like I try and eat regularly, so it does keep me going.
Yeah.
But I might have like a protein shake or something like that in the afternoon just to up my protein and keep me going. And dinner's usually chicken and veggies or like a stir fry, or depending on what I feel like, I suppose. But I do keep my carbs down towards the end of the day, but that's just a personal choice, I suppose. I suppose I'd pick lean meats more so than, I don't know, fatty meats. But I might choose like Heart Smart meat, like beef or something like that for a stir fry, and chicken breast as opposed to, I don't know.
And your tuna.
Yeah. And I love my tuna. But yeah, I haven't really changed what meats and that I buy. It's maybe how I cook them or what I have with them, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true. And you do have a lot more protein in the evenings that you.
Yeah. Like I said before, I never really was one for dinner. I might get takeaway or something, but takeaways are really never overly healthy. But yeah, I'm in a regular routine of having dinner and that again. I think maybe having the macro kind of guidelines and that for what food is required and what exercise as well. Yeah. And then anything additional on top of the exercise that I get done is just a bonus, I suppose. But it's all the routine, and at Vision you're accountable because it's such a small studio. You know everyone, well, all the trainers anyway, and most of the clients. So if you don't turn up to a group training or something,
we're on our case.
Yes.
The boys will be as well. Everybody notices.
Yes.
I'm not the only one.
I think it's really important to have a good routine with food, so your nutrition and also your exercise. It's a lifestyle. You've got to live with diabetes for the rest of your life. So it's really about knuckling down and, you know, sorting your lifestyle out, making those important changes and, you know, sticking to it. I think it's not only important for a diabetic, it's also important for non-diabetics to have a healthy lifestyle. And, you know, healthy lifestyle, you get results, and ultimately, you know, you're a happier person, I suppose.
When I look at Emma, she's a completely different person to the day that I saw her. The first time
I remember not blonde anymore.
Yeah, she came in as a blonde as a start, but when she came in, she wasn't happy. She wasn't a happy person. I could see that, and I actually looked at her and thought, this girl needs help. And I think that's probably why I put 110% into her and really took time out on my own time to really study up on her diabetes, because I just wanted to help her, because she was young, she had so much potential, but yet she looked so tired and so unhappy. And now I look at her and she's just so happy, and she's part of the studio, and everybody loves Roffey coming in.
And went home for the first time in about 12 months, and my dad didn't even recognise me. And it was just such a good feeling. Like, he was so proud, and that just made me just want to keep on going.
That's right.
With it as well.
I remember that was one of our goals, was I'm going to see my dad and I wanted him to be proud of me.
Yeah.
Of course he would be proud of you.
Yeah, but like, he hadn't seen me. Like, he saw me when I first joined Vision. Yeah. But he hadn't seen me for quite a while.
I remember Emma telling me that her dad was worried.
Yeah,
I remember
he
you
was.
telling me that. I don't know if you remember telling me that. But you said, my dad really is worried about me. Yeah. So I want to prove to him that I can turn my life around.
Yeah. And I have.